Disruption. Disruption is a well crafted phenomenon trending in our times. Disruption is not just change, it's transformation on a seismic scale. Disruptors are like catalysts, accelerating reactions, altering the landscape irreversibly. When disruptors enter a space, they redefine it, reshape norms and expectations to the point where the previous status quo feels distant, almost irrelevant. What makes disruption truly fascinating is its inherent boldness. It requires visionaries to challenge entrenched systems, imagine impossibilities far beyond what conventional wisdom considers feasible. Disruption is not just innovation. Oh no. It's an audacious belief in the impossible as not only achievable but inevitable. So there is no confusion in the mind of disruptors when they go in. They go in big, they go in strong. Think of how disruptors like electricity, internet, artificial intelligence transformed the entire industry and paradigms. They did not just improve things, they rewrote the paradigm entirely. I can't imagine a time where there were no cell phones, or a life without cell phones, or a life without the internet, and I lived that life. I actually have lived it in my lifetime. There were no cell phones when I was much younger, and internet had only started to come on board. But I can't imagine a life now without it. This disruption and the phenomenon around disruption has given rise to groundbreaking advancement in technology, business, and even culture. We can count so many companies that have emerged as a result. The Teslas in the automobile space, SpaceX in space exploration, just to give a few examples. They are not just introducing products, they are shifting mindsets. Similarly, disruptors in social movements bring awareness and action to long-standing issues. They create waves that resonate globally. Disruption isn't merely about breaking norms, it is believing in the transformative power of an idea and making it contagious. It's almost like we never knew things the way they were once they come in. It creates a whole new momentum. It's a mind shift that dares to consider the impossible as the norm. It challenges the norm, the status quo enough to create a force that ignites itself in people. Disruptors are catalysts. They have the ability to make an idea contagious. This today is an invitation for you to play, to rewrite your approach in the pursuit of the best of you. Disruption has got to do with movement. Now, movement is a process by itself that is disruption of another form of energy, described usually as potential energy. So until an object comes in contact with energy that can dictate or overcome the potential energy it carries, it just stays at rest. Potential energy in itself is stored energy. That's what physics teaches us. It's stored energy waiting for conditions to change or forces to act upon it. When movement begins, it actually disrupts that equilibrium, creating a ripple effect in the environment. So for instance, imagine that a football that is played across a football played across a court, would would displace air when it touches the ground. It could also collide with objects as it moves along. So it's not just motion, it's an interaction. Can create a cascade of events in its surroundings. It's a dance of dominance and balance. Consider your personal growth, for example, where our internal energy, like um, it could be internal energy from fear, it could be internal energy from regret, it could be internal energy even from ambition, um, from previous experiences, drives us forward to the point where we influence our environment and relationship until we counter an external force which can then cause us to stall or disintegrate or transform, or move further as well. The process of growth of the force that causes this change is as important as the energy the force itself carries. Even greater is the transformative process that it creates. So the process of the growth of this force. So when the force, that internal energy that I just mentioned, the process of its growth that causes a change that we want to see is as important as the energy as the force itself carries. Even greater is the transformative process that it creates. As this transformative process can be a phenomenon, can be curated and documented so that it creates a phenomenon that can be repeated. This is what we need to overcome the challenges that stand in the way, this transformative process of our movement, of false ceilings that want to stop us from moving. This movement, this shift, this ability to go from point A to point B in our thought process. It starts in the thought process, is what is one of the first keys that you need. The second key is recognition. It goes beyond that to being desperate enough to dig deep and consider the price this recognition is asking for. What needs to change? What needs to give? It is the desire to pay that price that gives birth to intentionality. Intentionality is the third key. Intentionality takes this desire and articulates it into actionable step. It takes this recognition, articulates into actionable steps. It takes this recognition and activates it into actionable steps that create what we want to see, what we really aspire to see. It's intentionality is not just casual change. It demands a kind of hunger that is a drive that is strong enough to push us to the direction where we want to go to, push us towards our what we have, the point we want to go to, even when faced with discomfort. And even when we have to give things up, this desperation serves as a catalyst, lighting the fire of determination. Intentionality, as we know it, is bearing the willingness to shoulder the cost. It's born from the willingness to shoulder the cost, and it reflects a transformative process. It reflects understanding that growth comes from letting go of old habits, of of comforts, of mindset, and embracing the challenges of the unknown. Intentionality is a spark, but when it transforms, when it gathers momentum and gathers routine, it becomes consistency, and it becomes a fire. It becomes a fire because it's no longer static. It's now dynamic, and it's capable of of refining into systems that embodies resilience and efficiency. When we carry on with doing things continuously towards our destination, regardless of challenges and obstacles, and the impossible that defies our journey, then we birth tenacity. And that's the third key. Now, the Bible actually has I'm a woman of faith, and I'm a physician. So science has groomed my practice, but I was born into faith. Now, there is a scripture in the Bible that tells me that our bodies will be raised again. So our bodies will be transformed into an immortal version. And this actually tells me that this is not the end of the bodies that we bear, which also gives me the which also gives me reason to believe that looking and caring and creating a blueprint for our bodies is as important. If this is not the end of this body, the Bible promises resurrection of our bodies. It says our bodies will be raised again, and that is a message of hope and renewal. It suggests that our struggles, our labors, and even our physical experiences have purpose beyond what we can see at the moment. That this life is not a single journey, but it's part of a grand eternal process, one where endurance and our faith will meet, one where what we have embodied in this physical life will meet with our faith when our bodies get transformed. The sixth thing is that we need to look when you start to operate with these keys. You need to stop, pause, look at the impact of your process of becoming. What changes have you made in your body? What changes have you made in your lifestyle? How much have you shifted to accomplish what you have accomplished? Consider, stop, reflect. Consider the newfound potential in you as a result of the challenges you have faced. The challenges of getting to work, making wealth, parenting, yet you find time to sculpt your own blueprint. What giants did you face? The fears, the obstacles, the doubts. People have done this before. People have done more than I am doing. Yet they still fell ill. Their body still did not hold up when they got older. How am I sure that this will work? So those giants that no longer hold sway over you as a result of your journey. Reflect on these things and document your process such that it makes it repeatable and transferable. And you also gain clarity. on what it took to overcome the challenges and unlock the potential. I must say that medicine has created, and science a lie that has been sold to humanity, that medicine holds the answers. Medicine doesn't hold the answers. There's so much uncertainty in the practice of medicine. However, medicine does hold, poses to hold consistency in what it does, which is researching, rediscovering, refining things. We need to also hold consistency in what we have chosen to do. Change is the only constant thing in life. As our body changes, we should be changing. Dynamic. Do not get stuck. These keys, 6 keys, will help us to find that thing that works for you. A lot of times in our daily, everyday, start where you are. Start where you are with your patterns, with your routine, with what you are eating, how you are eating, what you are sleeping in, how you are sleeping, what you drink. Start where you are. There's so many things that we do that are really good, but we are so busy. We don't even stop to notice how it's, what we did, how it impacted us physically, mentally. We're busy running from one thing to the other. We don't even know what we did. We don't stop to consider or realize how that engagement impacted us. Pause, write it down, and repeat. Write it down and repeat over and over again until it becomes second nature. Gather those things that are helping you sculpt and the body that you want to see and the experience in your body that you want to have. Remember to reflect as you go along. Document it. In documenting, you gain clarity of what it took to overcome your challenges, what it took to unlock the potential that you now have towards getting to the best of you. It's a blueprint that you will create. And I dare say it's a blueprint that others can follow. It will make impact and ripple effect that would go far beyond you. I hope I have shared and have been able to bless someone with what I have shared. It's been truly a blessing myself to share this with you. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.